In the last 2 years, there's been a ton of gym signups. You probably started hearing about Andrew Tate and David Goggins within the last 2 years. And in the last 2 years, whether you're going to the gym or not, you've started to see people in the gym who you probably would have never seen before. But now that Andrew Tate and David Goggins have made the gym popular, a ton of people are starting to go to the gym who normally wouldn't. And because of that, a lot of people are wondering, well, how do you stay motivated to go to the gym? Because before it was mainly bodybuilders or just like CrossFitters or whatever who are going to the gym, and their motivation is either to look good, win power building competition, win bodybuilding competition, or to just have functional muscle. But most of us really don't like going to the gym, right? Even if you look good, you love the pump, you love the feeling of that pump, you don't like going to the gym. Let's face it, it's not fun to walk, it's not fun to drive, it's not fun to pay money just to get bigger muscles, right? So you don't like going to the gym. So to stay motivated to actually go to the gym, first, let's talk about the fact that when I was researching gyms and trying to figure out kind of how to market to gyms, I found out that a lot of gyms actually, their membership goes down by 60%. So 60% of new gym members drop their membership after 6 months. And that is usually like those New Year's resolutioners, it's around that time. You probably started already seeing people drop off from the huge influx of people that you saw coming in January. And it's the same thing with like the Monday. On Monday, you probably see a bunch of people in the gym. By the time it's Friday, there's barely anybody in the gym because people are more motivated on Monday because it's the beginning of the week and they think they're going to start good habits on the beginning of the week than at the end. And same thing with the months. So if people start in January, and by 6 months later, 60% of them have already got rid of their membership. So first of all, if you have already had your membership longer than 6 months, then you're already doing a great job, bro. But second of all, let's figure out how you can stay out of that 60% and stay in the 40% of winners who are actually out there getting those gains. My bad, bro. So first things first is habits. So you probably heard a lot of people talk about building habits. So I'm gonna write out the habit loop for you real quick. So this is the one from The Power of Habit. There's another book called Atomic Habits that's more popular. You can find it in Target. I'm not really gonna be using that one. So first of all, you have the cue, and then that goes to a routine, and then the routine goes to a reward, and then it cycles back to itself. Okay, so a cue, basically with a cue, that would be like you feel stressed, okay? Because a lot of people like to go to the gym when they're stressed. So let's say your cue is stress, and we'll put a sad face on there too, just to know that you're stressed, right? So stress is your cue. So when you feel stressed, you want to go to the gym. So the routine that you respond with is, this is a dumbbell, if you can't tell. But I'll put gym just in case you didn't know. That's a dumbbell. Okay. So then your response to being stressed is to go to the gym. So then after you go to the gym, your reward is you feel less stressed. You feel happier. You got a pump. You feel great. So no stress and big boy pump. Big boy pump. And then the reason that it comes back to itself is because this routine only provides temporary satisfaction. So while you have long-term gains, if you stay in the gym for longer, overall your stress will still be high at high periods of stress, right? Like if your girlfriend just broke up with you, just because you've been going to the gym for a year does not mean you're not going to be stressed, all right? You're probably going to be stressed, heartbroken. So that response is going to come back to the stress. It's going to go back to the gym, and then you're going to get the reward of being less stressed. So it's almost like an addiction, and this is the same way it works with gambling. People give $10, they get $20. And then next time they give $10, they get $5 back. Or they lose $5, basically, is what that would look like. But because they got that reward last time, they keep seeking that reward over and over again. And even in their minds, even if they lose, that satisfaction, like it lights up the dopamine receptors in your brain over and over and over again. And so you get addicted to it. It's very similar with this, especially with the gym, because as you work out, it literally, like psychologically, lowers your stress levels. It lowers your cortisol in your brain, which the cortisol is the stress hormone, and that also increases testosterone if you didn't know that. But yeah, so your stress will be lowered, and you'll get a big boy pump. And obviously, I mean, even if you weren't stressed, that big boy pump is still a reward in itself. So This habit loop is very important. It takes 21 days to build a habit. And the way that you can actually build a habit without using the stress response is in this fashion. So, for example, you don't know how to start going to the gym every single day and making it a habit. So, what you would do is when you wake up in the morning, you put your gym clothes on because it's been studied that when you wear certain clothes, it's associated with certain things. For example, like when you lay in your bed, that's associated with sleep. So you get tired when you lay in your bed. And if you do other stuff in your bed, like do work on your computer or whatnot, you actually won't feel tired when you go into your bed. And that's why people will recommend that you only sleep in your bed and do work in a different room or something like that. But what you'll do is the moment you get out of bed, you put gym clothes on. So whatever that is for you. Personally, I have certain shirts and certain shorts that I use for the gym. I do not wear them any other times except for the gym. The reason I do that is because that is associated with my workout routine. So putting on the gym clothes is your cue, like we were talking about earlier. And then once you put those gym clothes on, you're going to feel the desire to go to the gym. And then, so your response or your routine would be going to the gym. And then after you go to the gym, your reward is going to be psychological. It's going to be the big boy pump. It's going to be whatever you want it to be. You could even reward yourself with chocolate. Now, if you're trying to get big boy gains with that big boy pump, don't eat chocolate, or else you're going to get a big boy belly, okay? You'll just be a big boy. You won't be big boy muscles, okay? So I would say don't eat chocolate. But the point is that either you can just reap the regular benefits that you would get, like the big boy pump, and we'll actually just, next time we write that, just make it an acronym, BBP, big boy pump. And then after that, also you get lower stress because your cortisol lowers in your brain. And there's tons of other benefits. Like there's another study done that says that if you work out, it's 1.5 times more effective than antidepressants for depression. So you'll be less depressed, you'll be less stressed, you get that BBP, big boy pump. But if you don't want to experience those benefits and you just want to eat chocolate after the gym, well, eating that chocolate will be associated with working out. So every time that you work out, you'll get rewarded with chocolate, and then you'll start to expect chocolate after you work out. And then that leads right back into the gym clothes. So basically, to start building this habit of going to the gym, put on gym clothes, only wear those clothes to the gym. Do not wear them anywhere else, so that will be your cue that then leads to going to the gym, which is your routine, which then leads to your BBP and lower stress. And then after you start getting into this habit loop and start researching it, and you feel like you know so much because you've just learned all this information from a guy who studied psychology and from a guy who did a lot of research on the internet because he's crazy. But you will have learned all this information, and then you're going to start researching on your own. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just watch another YouTube video. But regardless, you're going to have all this information. You're going to feel like a mathematician, like a wizard, okay? But then you're going to realize on some days it's harder to go to the gym than others. And you might say, oh, Keali'i, why is it harder to go to the gym on some days than others? Well, that's because your willpower. So willpower is the key word today. What's the letter of the day? Like in, what is it? Sesame Street? Willpower. Willpower, Elmo. Okay? So willpower is basically, if you were to imagine a jar, a cookie jar, let's say. Since we were talking about chocolate earlier, that's a cookie jar, by the way. I can't draw a cookie jar. And we'll draw. I was going to draw 2 cookies, but now we have 5 cookies. I don't know why we have 5 cookies, but I felt like it. So let's say when you wake up, you get on your phone and you just scroll for an hour. Well, now there's 1 less cookie in the cookie jar. So you ate a cookie. It's gone. Out of the jar. No more cookie for you. You have 4 cookies left. Okay? And then you go to work after you lay in bed. You take a shower, you go to work, blah, blah, blah. As you go to work, you take another cookie out of the cookie jar. Okay? You still only have 3 cookies left. What are you going to do with those last 3 cookies? Well, when you get home after the gym, after your job, you decide to play a video game with your boys. So you get on the game. Boom. another decision gone, another cookie gone. Okay? And then now, well, your mom's talking to you or your friend's talking to you, and you're like, hey, let's go out, blah, blah, blah. So you end up going to the bar with your friend, right? Boom. That's another cookie gone. And if you didn't get drunk at the bar, cool, you still have one cookie left. What's your decision, though? Is it to hang out with your girlfriend or go to the gym? Well, today you chose to go hang out with your girlfriend because you'll still have 2 hours left after hanging out with her to go to the gym, right? But when you get home for some reason, you just can't even bring yourself to go to the gym. It's because you ate all your cookies. You ate all your cookies out of the cookie jar, out of the willpower cookie jar. Okay? So basically, what this analogy is saying is that willpower is a limited resource. While many people might say that it's not, it is. You can increase your willpower by doing certain things, but overall, just know that willpower is limited. Okay? So you start the day with some willpower, just like you started with 5 cookies in the cookie jar, and each decision that you make throughout the day takes away a cookie or takes away some willpower. And some of them are lower willpower than others, like waking up and deciding to get dressed. That does use willpower, but it only uses like, let's say 0.1% of willpower. But going to the gym takes like 10% of your willpower because it's a lot harder of a task. So know that willpower is limited, and to increase your willpower, you need to either do the big decisions early in the day. So this is called eating the frog. So either, let's just erase this. We might as well. I don't know how much space we'll have because I'm writing big. So to increase your willpower, you can eat the frog. Okay? So when you eat the frog, that is doing the hardest tasks the earliest in the day, because then you get all the hard willpower tasks out of the way, and then you have the rest of the day for low willpower tasks like homework, right? So eat the frog at the beginning of the day. After you eat the frog, you can also do things at the end of the night. So at night, an example is plan your day. Plan day, okay? Because each decision that you make throughout the day uses willpower. If you didn't have a plan, like over here you can't see that I have a plan for my day, I write this out at the end of the night, because at nighttime my willpower is super low down here. I've used all my decision power today, and so I'm making decisions for tomorrow so that tomorrow I can go into it mindlessly and know what I'm supposed to do. My bad, bro. I keep burping. I drank a Celsius earlier. I can't stop burping. Anyway, so these low willpower tasks, like writing out your daily schedule, will take a lot of willpower at the beginning of the day. But since you're doing it at night, it uses that nighttime willpower that you don't have anymore to help you for tomorrow. So best tips can be eat the frog, do the hardest tasks as early as possible, and at night plan your day. That's how you'll save your willpower. And know that if you've done a bunch of shit during the day, you can force yourself to go to the gym, but it's going to be very hard compared to if you did it at 6 in the morning, because, well, you're just going to have less willpower, just like we discussed. So after all that's said and done, if all of those factors don't play in and you aren't able to build your habits and you aren't able to eat the frog or write at night to plan your day, well, how do you still go to the gym, right? So this goes into discipline. All right, and you've heard a lot of people talk about discipline. It's a key word. Everybody loves to talk about discipline, but they don't really tell you how to build it. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. So to build discipline, to go to the gym, first of all, you should already be building your habit of going to the gym. But in order to build the habit, you need to have discipline. And in order to have more discipline, you need to have more willpower. But regardless, discipline is basically, the definition of discipline is going to be doing things you don't want to do, you don't want to do. And you might think, oh, I've heard that before, or like, oh, Hamza says that at the end of every video. Yeah, well, scientifically, bro, it increases a part of your brain, and that part of your brain is associated with discipline as it grows. So as that part of your brain grows, it actually usually shows an increase of discipline. So, for example, David Goggins, who does shit every single day that he hates doing, well, that part of his brain is going to be bigger than yours, small brain. But doing things you don't want to do actually builds that part of your brain, Scientists aren't sure why, but it does. So we know that scientifically, that's literally the definition. Okay. So how does that help you though? How does that help you build discipline? Right. So if going to the gym is that hard task that you don't want to do, and it's like hard because it takes 2 hours, right? Well, in order to do a 2 hour task that's really hard, it's going to need to be built up. And this kind of goes into willpower. So to increase your willpower, you also need to build up small wins throughout the day. And this will also build your discipline. Because let's say you wake up in the morning, okay? 6 a.m., right? First of all, you didn't even want to wake up at 6 a.m., but you did, and it built your discipline. So you wake up at 6 a.m., boom, first thing you do, push-ups. Who wants to do push-ups at 6 in the morning? Nobody. So do them. Just 10 push-ups. Build your discipline. Super easy. So 6 a.m., do 10 push-ups. Right after that, make your bed. And you might have heard people tell you to make your bed. You might have seen the book in Target or in Barnes & Noble or whatever to make your bed every day. It's like by some admiral. But making your bed, what it does is nobody wants to make their bed. So when you make your bed, it takes like 30 seconds. And so it's not super hard to do. You don't want to do it. Build your discipline. Same thing with 10 push-ups. I could bang out 10 push-ups right now and come back in here in 30 seconds. Less than that. Probably like 10 seconds. A second per push-up because I'm the shit. And those 10 push-ups doesn't take too long, isn't too hard. Builds your discipline though because you didn't want to do it. And so you keep doing stuff like this throughout the day. Like if you did homework, for example, later on in the day. I mean, unless you're a nerd, I don't think that you want to do homework. So if you did homework throughout the day, well, it built your discipline because you forced yourself to do it and you didn't want to. So after you've done all this, one, your willpower will be lower, but two, because you've done all this stuff, you've accomplished it. So it actually, while your willpower is lower because you've made decisions, it increases your willpower because you've made small decisions that have increased your willpower because you've gotten them done. You've accomplished things basically. So all of it's connected. Going back to the habit loop, I'm just going to draw a circle with an arrow. So that is the habit loop for right now, okay? This, every time you accomplish one of these and you get that reward, it builds your willpower. So completing this increases your willpower, okay? Your willpower goes up as you get the reward for every habit that you do. So if you have a habit of doing push-ups and you get the reward for it, and then you make your bed and you get the reward for it, and you do your homework and you get the reward for it, all of a sudden you have a lot of willpower and you have like a lot of motivation to do these things. And then so by the time it's time to go to the gym, well, you don't want to, but you've already done all this shit earlier in the day. And so you're like, bro, I'm fucking aced the whole day. I might as well hit the gym just to show those weights what's up. Just to show those weights that I don't even care, bro. I'll throw them around the gym and not care. So build discipline by doing small things that you don't want to do to increase your discipline, and it'll also increase your willpower because every time you do that, you get a reward for it. 10 push-ups, you get a pump. Make your bed. It looks nice. I don't know what the reward for that is, honestly. It looks nice. And then doing your homework, you don't really get a reward for it except good grades. So boom, that A+, fire. So do all this every day to increase your discipline, increase your willpower, and overall increase your motivation to go to the gym. It's all connected, every bit of it. But I don't think I've seen anybody lay it out like this before. So after you've done all that, you will not be the 60% that quits the gym. You'll be a part of the 40%, the top tier of men, of the elites, okay? You will infiltrate the top 1% of elites. But yeah, so remember, build your habits, build up the small wins to increase your willpower, and by that, you're also increasing your discipline. So that's all I have for you. I'll be throwing out some more videos because there'll be more of this style. It'll be less editing. So I'm going to throw out these videos quickly throughout the week and get y'all some more content that's actually going to help you out rather than just let those dopamine receptors in your brain go off. But yeah, don't forget, live life to the fullest and praise God.